What is going on? Welcome to episode 67 of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh. On this very special occasion, 1 year of Nintendo Powercast, we have the original co-host, who goes by as a man of many names. Originally Destinaut, sometimes Brian, sometimes Ronnie V, sometimes DJ Hoedown, Showdown. What's up, man?
Oh, it's awesome. It's going good. There's a whole backstory behind Ronnie V that no one will probably ever know. It was glorious. It probably would have made me millions.
It's not too late. It's not too late.
That'll be the extra show. We could do the behind the scenes.
It's going good though. It's good to be back.
All right.
It's weird.
Yeah, we're glad to have you.
Oh. It's like getting kissed for the first time at the bleachers.
Well, that's okay. Cool. Hey, Zero, what's up, man? Welcome back.
What is going on, NPC fam? It is your boy, 80, your hero. Happy to be here.
Oh, yeah.
Now I get two people to hate this. This is great. It's getting better.
Yeah.
Gets better with age.
Was almost lit.
Yeah.
Almost lit.
Wow. Well, hey, this is going to be a little crazy tonight. We're going to be talking about the Switch over the last year, our thoughts on the Switch over the last year, the show over the last year, and we're excited. Also, if you're here with us live, we're going to be giving away a $20 eShop gift card, so that'll be fun as well. But before we get going, if you want to get yourself a free audiobook, go to audibletrial.com/NPC. There you can get one of many books, like Ready Player One. Movie's coming out. Saw the poster today or yesterday.
So good.
Looks really cool.
Josh only understands half of it, but whatever.
Yeah, I do. That's true. So check that out before the movie comes out. It's really good. That's audibletrial.com/NPC. Guys, the chair I'm sitting in is from OP Seat. Go to opseat.com. And save yourself $10 by using coupon code N64Josh. These are comfortable, affordable gaming chairs. I can't recommend them enough. I use mine daily. That's opseat.com, coupon code N64Josh. Lastly, guys, if you want to get yourself an extra podcast, go to patreon.com/N64Josh. And there are many tiers there, but just for $1, get you that extra show. So there we go. We are live on twitch.tv/N64Josh every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific. Sometimes we're a little late, technical difficulties and whatnot, but it's usually close. So if you're here with us live, thank you so much. Guys, there's so many of you tonight, I can't even name everybody. So thank you for being here. This is gonna be great. I can't wait to hear from you guys in chat as well. Let's jump right in. Hey, what have you been playing?
Well, I beat Celeste. I finished the climb, which means I'm probably like 25%. I'll eventually go through and get further on that. I love the game, still love it. I've been playing the Mario Kart Mondays with the fam a little bit, and everyone seems to be far superior to me. So that hurts a little bit. Breaks my heart every time.
Are you gonna be okay?
Maybe we'll see. You're on my list though. I'll show you my notepad. It's just you scribbled all over it. Just N64 Josh. Some of them have hearts around it. Some of them like crosses. So
Kirby has my list. She continually adds to it. I don't even know if she has enough ink in all the pens in her house to keep this list going. So, what do I call you right now? What do you want me to call you? DJ? Brian?
Yeah, we'll go with DJ or Brian.
Okay.
I come from an era where like usernames were just like throwaway because I first started playing online video games with Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike, you could change your name like mid-match. So it literally didn't matter. And then like we used to go to, I don't even know if they have them anymore. Like it was like a LAN party, but it was a business. You had to go, you'd pay. It's like an internet cafe. And people would literally just play Counter-Strike and Diablo 2 at the time. So mine varied depending on who one of our buddies brought that night. Whatever offended them. That's what my name would be. I've got a name that's very near and dear to my heart that will probably never be said, especially in this day and age.
Thank you.
So yeah,
thank you for using
whatever.
that restraint. I really appreciate it. It saves me some editing for sure.
So yeah, let's go on.
So
yeah, what's up?
What have you been playing? Brian?
I was participating in the Mario Kart Mondays, but I only have so much hair left, so I haven't been playing that for a while. Um, Picked up what is it? Monster Hunter? The new Monster Hunter. I picked that up. That's pretty good. I haven't played it too much though, because I finally cracked open my classic systems,
Yeah.
and I've been playing so much Gradius lately. It's unhealthy. Yeah.
Just
Love that game.
bathing in the nostalgia.
Oh, it's so good. The music, like right when you come into the game, there's like the music's incredible, and I think there's even, I mean, it's 8-bit music, but I think there's bagpipes when you fight the bosses of those levels. It's very bizarre, but so awesome. Why that game hasn't gotten an HD remake, I'll never. Well, it's Konami. That's how I know it'll never get an HD remake, and if it does, it'll be a casino game.
Yeah, they'll make it into some sort of slot machine or something.
True, Pachanga. Pachanga will have it.
Well, for me, it's just been a lot of Mario Kart because I have to practice so that Nightcrawler and Kirby and Katie Ann and Yickum and everyone else that plays on a regular basis, Lumber, that so they don't destroy me. And sometimes they still do. But we're having a good time. I've actually started working my way through the 200 CC, trying to 3-star everything. So, yeah, Kirby Geek says everyone's out to get me. That's pretty much the case. Like, it's usually said multiple times during the races, but it's just been it's honestly been really cool being able just to game with the community, right? Because it's nice you can get up to 12 people in there. There's not many games that we can really do that on the Switch. I mean, we can get up to 8 with Splatoon, and there may be some other like indie racers or something that you can do that. But I don't know. I have a good time. Kirby says I'm not human because I don't swear at everybody the entire time. Sometimes I have her swear for me, just so that so I can, I know it's coming out. But it's been a lot of fun. It's been a ton of fun. So even though there's massive frustration, it's been fun. And we've squeezed a little bit of Splatoon in there as well, and I even played a little bit of Pokken the other day. I'm like, I downloaded the Twitch has some free like holiday. It was like all like Christmas stuff. I was like, oh, okay. I will never use this, but all right. So there was like 4 items from Twitch. So that's been fun. That's been fun.
I didn't think you had opened that game.
Oh yeah, no. I opened it the day I got. I did a review for it actually. It's up on my YouTube channel.
Cool.
Yeah, I like it, and there's a few other there's a few Nintendo podcasters I want to call out at one point, but I gotta train like Rocky for this event that they don't know about yet. So I can't. I gotta get my chops up with that game because I should probably do the tutorial again because I don't even remember all the buttons. So
I'll say it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. That's the best paper rock scissors simulator I've ever played.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great game. I don't have it for the Switch. I had it for the Wii U.
Yeah.
But I just haven't gotten around to it.
I'm playing the Luchador Pikachu, and so he's just fast. I'm probably doing it wrong.
I made Pikachu
but I'm
back in
having
the
fun.
day.
So.
Did they add Detective as DLC?
No, but I think Blastoise is coming out.
Doesn't matter.
I know, Kirby. I just said a Pokemon's name, and I probably said it right. It's okay. Everyone.
That's the only one he knows.
If they do add him, is he going to be like 3 times the size as the other Pikachu? To match the amiibo? No?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
That's the only way I would do
You
it.
would have to.
And is it voiced by Ryan Reynolds?
I don't think they can afford it.
Well, I won't be playing that.
Well, they're already like $7.50 a piece each character, so maybe. Kirby says, "I know you don't know that Lucha Pika is a girl." No idea. Thought it was just Pikachu with a mask on. That's
y'all don't even know about Lucha Pika.
Y'all don't even know. So, well, this is the 1-year anniversary. It was literally, if I look back, February 13th was the day I signed up to make this show a thing on Podbean. I don't know the exact day the first episode went live, but this was the URL, the RSS feed was today. So we're celebrating. it was it was a, go back and listen to some of the first episodes. There were it's always rough, right? It's always rough
It was
starting
the
out.
best of time. It was the worst of time.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that rough. It was, as a listener during that era, I think I was one of the early guests initially, but it was a blast to listen to those old episodes. So
I know for Brian and I, it was literally record the Lootcast and then record, like we just had like 2 solid hours of podcasting every Tuesday night. Like, and back then,
More like 3, because we wouldn't really drop the call in
no.
between.
Yeah.
So
No. And then sometimes we talk after the last one. So it ended up being like 4 hours of podcasting every Tuesday.
you literally could have kept recording and had a week's worth of shows.
Right. Exactly. But like back then, I didn't even have a computer that I was able to get the shows live. So Brian would take us live onto Twitch while I'm recording everything. It was literally just like the hodgepodge together. It was like the
Yeah, how did it even work?
I don't even know at this point.
I would screen cap the video and I would host the channel on Twitch, and then you would record the audio. It was like if only in this day and age there was some technology that would combine all that together.
Right.
There probably is, but it's not free. So we're like, nope, not using it.
Right, there is.
So,
it just doesn't run on Mac, which that was my other problem at the time.
yeah.
So,
But still, well, even it was crazy. So I'm surprised it even came out the way it did.
and so then after a few months, Hate started talking to me and was like, "Hey, you want to do another podcast?" And I'm like, dude, I'm already doing so many. I don't know. And then he ended up joining us.
Can I say the exact quote you gave me?
Okay, sure.
Because I don't even know if you remember it.
I probably don't.
You said, "Dude, I spend more time talking about video games than I ever get to play video games anymore." I was like, okay, so no.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't know if it's quite as. I don't think that statement's as true as much as I've been streaming now, but it definitely was at that point in time. It was more talking than actually playing. Oh, Kirby says, "I think that is still true." So there you go.
Well, there was a time. I mean, you were had the Nintendo podcast started yet? You were like writing a book. You were.
Oh, that was the year before. Yeah.
Was it the year before? Okay, so it's been consistently you haven't been playing video games.
Yeah, writing a book, selling
yeah.
beard oil, making rustic decor, like, plus working 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
It's just what you do, right?
He likes the idea of gaming.
Yeah.
Looking back, there was a review we got, and I remember at the time we were like, "What is this guy talking about?" Because we were trying to put 2 and 2 together, and we just didn't know what it meant. And I think he said like, "Yeah, you guys are pretty good. It's a great fan cast." And we're like, "Fan cast? Like, what is this guy talking?" Like, there's no description, of course, like most of the reviews that just say like 2-star and then they're out. But yeah, it was just like we didn't know what it meant. And I think looking back now, maybe what he meant, or she meant, was like, "Oh, these guys are fans of video games, but they don't play them. So nice podcast."
Yeah, that could have. I can tell you what, the moment that I read that review was the moment I had show notes each week, was the moment that like we had segments, and it was like, no. Like, I want to make sure that this is as professional. I'm hoping in the very near future that in between segments we're going to have like sound effects and stuff very soon, just kind of indicating each segment. I just got to figure it out. But that review was definitely a driving force for me to go, okay, then I can step this up. And so hopefully I don't think we've ever heard back.
Did
Most
they,
people that
did
review
they give
on.
Yeah. Did they give a star rating on that?
I think we
don't
got
remember.
5 stars.
So maybe that was a good thing. Maybe like a lot of shows aren't by fans. This is a show for fans by fans. Maybe they just worded it in such a way you took it as insulting.
Yeah, it was for the people, by the people.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe it was, but at the time, I think we looked at it as just kind of like, who's this guy? Like, fan cast? What does that even mean? You know? Yeah, I think we did take it as kind of an insult. Yeah. Yeah. Josh mentioned show notes. I don't. I still to this day don't know what show notes are. Yeah. So if everyone thought like, man, this is the most well put together show, either Josh and myself, and then like when Hate was on, either we're just awesome, or all the fans' expectations were very, very low.
Yeah.
I'm gonna choose the former, but I think it's the latter.
I think there's close to 120 Lootcast episodes. Probably 3 of them have had show notes. You know,
and who knows? Maybe those were like the most boring ones. Like, this is so structured. This is terrible. I don't know, but yeah, no, it worked. It worked.
Well, and this all started because we saw that reveal for the Switch, right? And I remember we jumped into. I think we literally were just like, some of us were on Xbox Live, I think, and then we watched that Twitch reveal, or we watched on Twitch when the Switch was announced. Mm-hmm. And so we were all in there talking. Some people were just typing in the chat on Twitch and stuff. And there was just so much excitement about this thing, you know, and like the immediate discussion we had afterwards was so much fun with the, you know, and there was a ton of just guys from the Loot Clan at that time, you know, when we were all playing Destiny, and just that's what was hot at the time. And so I literally think we had like played Destiny and then hopped off and watched this reveal together. And so shortly after, I'm starting to look for podcasts, and I find the Switchcast and some other stuff that's just really focusing on the Switch, and there wasn't too many others that were just strictly like about the Switch. And shortly after, I found Run Jump Stomp, because he was on the Switchcraft or Switchcast. His is now called the Switchcraft, and so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. Like, Nintendo has been my favorite since I was like 5. Why not, like, you know, Destiny was on its way out, and I love podcasting. I had to keep it going. And so we just went for, I mean, literally, I probably had the idea on February 13th, like, listen to a podcast, when I'm starting a podcast, sign it up. I think it was a Thursday that the first show came out. I'm like, hey, we're going to do another podcast. Okay. Like, are you ready for this? Okay.
Okay.
And that's,
I'm surprised I'm still married. I don't know how that worked out.
So as a listener, you guys started changing the Loot Cast near the end, not the end, but near the start of this show, to talk about gaming history, and a lot of it was centered around Nintendo anyways, at least for most of us. And it seemed like such a natural, like, no-brainer, like, yeah, why have you not been doing a Nintendo show this whole time?
Right.
His name's N64 Josh.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
N64 Josh, welcome to the Xbox.
Right. Yeah.
Well, so even that's funny, right? Because I literally, my name, I didn't want to have numbers and letter, like different stuff in front of my name on Twitter, but my name,
N64G1735 Josh, 42 :
my first and last name is so common. It's basically John Smith. And so there's no way I was getting it. And I had to like have a billion underscores and everything. And so on a whim, like, and some of you guys probably know this stuff already, I told my wife, I said, hey, create 2 Twitter profiles, N64Josh and N64Jen. So she did that. I had a website called N64 Gaming. I still have it, but don't go to it because it's gotten taken over by malware. So don't go to it.
Good.
Stay away from it.
Not a sponsor.
And did a podcast every day of the week. 5 days a week. I did 30 podcasts in the first month. And it was called, I think, the N64 Gaming Podcast, except only once a week, my wife and I would review a 64 game, and the rest of it was interviewing developers for indie games. I had Rob and Jay from Nintendo Quest come on. Like the branding was so messed up. It was so messed up. And so I had kind of started with Nintendo, but just didn't really have good a good direction. And so shortly after, the lootcave.com became a thing, the Lootcast became a thing, and then I kind of came full circle right back to Nintendo, which I'm so stoked about, because I have Xbox games right now. I got for Christmas. I bought Monster Hunter. I literally played for about 7 minutes, and
you're doing yourself a disservice.
I know, but I love playing Nintendo games. There's just something about it. So it's just a good fit.
What would have happened if the Switch would have come out? Because we were talking about it before it came out, and what would have happened if it would have come out and it would have just been, I don't know, like Wii U 2?
Well, I think that would have meant Nintendo is done making consoles, and they're going straight handheld and start lending their intellectual properties to other brands.
Well, I mean, let me re-ask the question, because I could care less what happens to Nintendo. What would happen to the podcast?
Oh.
Would there be a third one now, talking about like I don't even know what's popular anymore, because I mean, Josh has kids, he might know. Yu-Gi-Oh?
I'd probably start a Bachelor podcast, maybe. I don't know. That show's on consistently.
We would have both been married. You would have started a Bachelor podcast.
No, he means like
the TV show.
Yeah. Like Celebrity Big Brother or something.
That'll always go strong.
Yeah, right.
Like someone just clip that and will show it to me in like 3 years when they're like, "Yeah, remember that show? It's dead now."
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I would have kept. It would have been something else. I just would have. It's always about just throwing stuff against the wall till something sticks. And this one,
the Nintendo 3DS cast.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If they would have had to use that machine to carry them through the next few years, that would have been crazy. But thankfully, it's working out. And there's, I mean, this week alone, there's like 6 games coming out. Physical release, not to mention the eShop titles that are coming out as well. Like, and the bummer part is, like, I've seen some of these eShop titles, like Owlboy. Have you guys seen this at all? It looks so good. It looks.
Have you never heard of Owlboy before?
Never heard of it. Never.
Oh my god!
So it looks really
good. It's been out on PC forever.
Okay.
I don't even know if it's on the other consoles, because this is a fan cast and I don't know anything. But yeah, it's been out for a while. It's gotten tons of reviews and been told it's an amazing game, and it's finally coming to Switch. I'm happy because I don't have it on PC, and I usually judge whether I'm going to get it on Switch or PC based on, like, I'll go to Steam and then I go to the eShop and I'm like, which one's $10 cheaper? Usually it's the Steam.
For sure.
For reasons we already know about. Thanks, Nintendo. Not a sponsor. By the way, this is not the official podcast. If you're this deep in and you're like, wow, I thought this was the official Nintendo Powercast. No. Sorry, this isn't it. This is the good podcast. That other show.
Shots fired.
Don't at me, Nintendo. Yeah, no.
They'd have to know about us.
Yeah, there's a Switch tax, which whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, well,
but I'll probably get it on the Switch.
I'm going to pick it up, but I know it's coming physical in like May, so I'm just going to have to hold off. But at least they told us, I'm very thankful for that, when they're like, hey, this is going to come out physical. I held off on Wonder Boy. Came out today. So
did it?
Yeah.
I might have to pick that one up. That was one that DJ you were recommending. Now
I did. I'm sorry. No, I think if you're in the mood for an old game, because it plays like an old game. It doesn't. There's a lot of hand holding that old games don't do.
Right.
And whether that's because maybe back in the day they're like, it's a simpler time. We don't want to overwhelm our audience by telling them what all the buttons do. But it was just, it's different. You had 2 buttons back in the day, and then nowadays to get a game where it's like you got 2 buttons, it's it's basically it's a reskin. I wouldn't even say it's like a reimagining of the game. It's straight up the game with a fancy new Flash style, cover on it, which is fine. I just never played the game, so there's no nostalgia there for me. I really like it. I'm gonna sound like Josh here. I really need to get back to it and play it because it's a really good game. But
I've never
unfortunately,
said that.
it's on the shelf.
I've never said that.
Sure.
He just doesn't go back. Like he'll never play Dragon Age Quest Builders again.
Yes, I
I'm
will.
Don't look back.
I will.
Don't look back.
I will play Dragon Age Builders again. Don't you worry.
Sure.
Dragon Quest Builders. I can't wait to play it again. It's just not going to be anytime soon. I wanted to play it and be able to talk about it on this show. I tried streaming it, and literally, I think everybody just they fell asleep on their keyboards right on the Z button, and so in chat it was just nothing but Z's the entire time. People just passed out. They were like, "This is boring. Please, can we play Mario Kart?" And so that's that's what happened with. Did you hear what happened with Monster Hunter, Brian? I think you were on your trip. I was trying to stream it. My wife wanted to watch a TV show. So when she signed in, it signed me out because she had to do it on my account on my Xbox downstairs. So we're like I'm 7 minutes in getting through the single player stuff, and then boom, we ended up playing Mario Kart for like 3 hours after that. So I was like, I don't care. We're still having fun. So Mind Quest Dragoncraft. There you go. Mr. Person's got it. So there it is. But yeah, so I mean, Nintendo's going strong. Brian, I want to ask you, because over the last year, and you can correct me, but I've kind of seen you do this and this, like up and down with like what you've thought of Nintendo, what you've thought of their games, kind of, oh, I'm just going to play PC, or no, okay, I'm going to play. I mean, at one point, your Switch was for sale, and you were like,
yeah.
I'm done. I'm done. So what is it about the system that you ended up keeping it? Like what happened there?
Well, for me, initially, I think you and I were like the same hype level of like 11 out of 10,
For sure. Zelda. I mean, that really, we both like.
Oh yeah, I think my hours played is still higher than people that are currently playing it. I have like 145 hours into that. I haven't even played the DLC.
Yeah.
But you had pre-ordered it, I believe, and I, like an idiot, sat out overnight, like 12 hours, 14 hours in front of a GameStop to get this thing. Loved it, and then I guess typical Nintendo is like, look at these amazing games. Oh, here comes the drought, and it was just like it was up, it was down. I guess like maybe I was being too quick to jump on the hate Nintendo bandwagon, which a lot of people were and still are on. I think those are just poor people, though. If you can afford all the consoles, why not? Like, it's priorities. I get that. I'm not like putting people down for not owning everything, but it just some of the decisions that Nintendo makes, and I think maybe at that time I'm like, what are they doing? Why are they putting this stuff out?
Because the ports you were kind of annoyed
by
like
I'm
Mario
like,
Kart.
What's with all these ports, dude? Like, for someone that owned the Wii U, it's kind of like I just played this a month ago. Like what? And then now it's coming out again. Not even in like, I wouldn't even say it's an HD remake. Because Mario Kart 8 was already 1080p on the Wii U.
For sure.
You want to know what the difference is? Okay, yeah, they added the DLC. Yes, they added the traditional battle mode. Mario
Kart 8 was 900p on the Wii U, wasn't it? Something increased. It was either the frames per second or the resolution.
I was just about to say the difference between Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U and Mario Kart 8 on the Switch is that the Wii U version had a bug that caused it to run at 59 frames per second, and the Switch version runs at a solid 60. So, I mean, that's just
that whole frame. I'm done.
Unplayable.
People only noticed it because of something to do with like if you were power sliding and you looked at like the upper left corner of the screen, something would flash every 59th of a second.
Game's trash.
So, yeah, trash. It should be on PC. So now someone's saying 720p on Wii U. I don't know. It's a fan cast. I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't 100%. I didn't play it.
Yeah, so I mean, but it's like I've played this before. And Mario Kart 8 is an amazing game. That is, if someone wanted to argue against me, because I'm very much for new games coming out, and why do I keep getting DLC when you could just give me a new game? Fighting games, racing games, sports games, I'm all for them having DLC. Because what are you going to do? Completely revamp the engine of the game? No, just, okay, new tracks, cool. New characters, cool. New carts, cool. Sports games, new teams, maybe upgrade stats. I'm all for that. I think those type of games, like need that, or could really benefit from not having to be completely revamped. But I am a big fan of new games, and Nintendo wasn't exactly giving that to me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I started busting out the pitchforks, going after Nintendo. But I'll tell you what recently, which really, I guess, changed my opinion about a lot of stuff. I looked up an article. I shouldn't say I looked it up. I found an article. Ironically enough, it's a Glixel, which I think is part of Rolling Stone magazine.
Okay.
There's a guy here. His name is, let me find it real quick. This makes for great podcasting, I know. Anyways, I can't find his name right now, but he is one of 2 developers on the dev team at Nintendo that aren't Japanese. And the whole reason he got involved in, I guess, like Japanese gaming was like Kojima brought him in on one of the recent projects. He was brought in because he was a Western developer. They said, like, we want your take on this. And he worked for them. They liked him. He fit in well with the team. And he ended up working at Nintendo. But he gave the analogy that he gave was basically that Japanese games are different from American games. And Japanese devs are way different from American devs. Just their approach to gaming in general. And he kind of compared Japanese games to when you go to a restaurant and it's like a fixed meal. It's like, this is what, the chef went to chef school. He's a master. He knows what good food is. This is what the meal is. You can come in and experience it. And when you're done, you're allowed to have your opinion on it. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Whereas Western devs are kind of like the a la carte, like, what does our audience want? What are they going to like? Maybe they'll play test it. And then they put that into the game. Who knows? We might even get Destiny. That's known for being tweaked, like every week. And so I kind of thought about that. I'm like, you know what? Let's take that as it is. So I started, playing some Japanese games and looking at how Nintendo does things. And I'm like, I feel like maybe they're going about that approach. And if you can understand that and you understand where they're coming from, it really, like, I guess you could say, opened my eyes to just like, oh, I'm gonna kind of take it as they present it to me and then have my opinions about it later, instead of just being like, why doesn't it give me, 1080p? Why doesn't it give me the ability to download every tiny little thing, So I guess it's perspective. I don't know, but I'm enjoying it now. I'll throw that link up as soon as I find it or something like that for you guys, if you guys want to read that article. I found it pretty insightful. But yeah, so that's kind of my take on the Nintendo right now. It's kind of a master chef, I'm just enjoying it.
Like, did you jump into, like, you played Xenoblade, right? I mean, was that one that kind of brought you back a little bit?
Honestly, I kind of stopped playing that. I was really enjoying it at first, but it is a traditional JRPG. And if you
just don't forget me.
I'm that guy that bought every Final Fantasy game and stopped playing it after like 12 hours because I'm like, dude, these are awesome. I can't do it.
By the power of friendship, you'll be able to play that game again.
Oh
Don't you
my
worry.
gosh. Meh.
Friendship's not the F word I would use to describe what I was feeling.
Fantastic is the word he was thinking.
Fancast is what I was thinking.
Fancast.
Hey, how about you over the last year, man? What is this? What has the Switch done for you and for gaming? And because I mean, you and I were hardcore like 15 years ago, playing Xbox Live every night till like, 3, 2 in the
3,
morning.
4,
Yeah. Like I remember going to bed at like 5 and leaving for work at 7. Like and working with saws all day long. Like super smart, right? But I mean, that's how it was. Where are you at now with the Switch? I started hearing myself through somebody's speakers just now, and it
I don't want to talk about it.
Kind of freaked me out. I was like, "Is that on my end?" So anyway, hey, take it away.
Yeah. So I was kind of up and down with gaming after that point. At one point, I quit gaming altogether. I think I was down to just a PS4, and I love PlayStation. I think they're a great brand, but they've never offered me something Nintendo and Microsoft has offered me, and that is making gaming fun. It's fun to play with friends, and that PlayStation has great single player epic stories, some of my favorites of all time. But the Switch, the one thing I'll say it's done, and I don't want to take all day with my explanation, so I will try to summarize.
What are you trying to say?
Well, I want to save time for the man, the myth, the legend. The one thing I think the Switch has done for me that I didn't know or expect would happen is it's made gaming fun again. It's not the powerhouse. It's not the best console in that regard. The portability, I could have taken it or leaving it, but now that I have it, I think it's great. It's amazing how much more gaming I do just because of that alone, which is shocking because I hate portables. But it's made gaming fun for me again. I genuinely enjoy playing like Zelda, even Mario Rabbids. Like these games bring smiles to my face, and I'm excited to talk about it and experience it and then play with you guys. If they could just get their online going, I think it would make it the next level and the only thing missing for me.
Yeah, definitely. The online needs to and they, according to what I've heard recently from these, all these different investor talks and everything, we get like little snippets from these different articles. It really seems like they're taking the online seriously. I don't know what that means exactly, but hopefully it means a decent voice chat without having like 18 different wires coming out of everything.
Yeah.
So I kind of disagree though.
Oh,
I like the peripherals. I don't own that headset, but it's so Nintendo. I see it, I'm like, Nintendo.
Oh, well, I don't.
You like the laser sight or whatever from the NES, where you blink to fire?
No, you have to yell fire. You're like, fire. Fire. I don't mind having options. If they could figure out a way to allow you to use your phone as your voice chat, or if you want to use the console, like I don't think that's inconceivable to offer. I think Microsoft's offering it with their app. I believe they're beta testing right now to be able to party chat through the iPhone app on the whatever the Xbox app's called. It might just be called that. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's impossible to implement, and I would be all for it then, because having the peripherals is very Nintendo, like you said. That's they've been doing that since they started.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for me, the Switch, I was excited. I was optimistic. Obviously, a new Zelda game excited me. I knew I was going to be a day one just for Zelda, but I had no idea the year I was in for. And in my opinion, the Switch launch has been the best 1 year launch of any console generation that I can remember. I mean, if you look back at the Xbox One launch, it was horrible. The PS4 launch had a bunch of trash games, a couple good games. The Wii U we don't really need to bring up. GameCube had a Luigi's Mansion, which was awesome, but nobody wanted because it wasn't you can't jump. So it
Yeah. What? Yeah.
So
Ubisoft made it work though. There's no jumping.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. You're right, and it was. I enjoyed it. So, I in my opinion, I think this is the best console launch or first year that we've seen.
Yeah. Usually they launch with like 3 games. I recently watched the history of Super Nintendo, and it was like I think it was like Pilot Wings. There was like 2 others. I can't even remember what they were now. So, well, the Super Mario World.
Yeah, it was Street Fighter 2.
No, that wasn't launch.
Shortly after, right? Or was it a year after?
Maybe a year or so after. But shortly after that, there was like 3 other games that came out. Like Sim City was one of them. And to some people, that's not really a fun game. But a lot of people that like the Sims types games, it was probably awesome. Because the only other at that point, the only other place you could find that was the PC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was weird that it was like every month there was at least probably like 2 or 3 titles that came out that we now look back on and we're like, dude, those were killer titles for the SNES. But even at launch, it only had 3, whereas the Switch, it was kind of like, ooh, we got like 3 games: Bomberman 1, 2, Switch, which is not a game in my opinion, but whatever.
Yeah.
And Legend of Zelda. But then we had a few eShop titles, which good luck even finding those now with the abysmal sorting system the eShop has. But then after that, it was just like boom, boom, boom. Like Josh said, he can't even pay his electric bill next month because he's got to get physical copies of games. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so for me, the Switch has done a number of things. And hopefully I'll remember all of these as I'm going through it. But like one of the things I think is really great about it is the portability, right? And not just for the fact that I can play it wherever I want to play it, but like I've taken it to so many family events, and I just kind of pull the Joy-Cons off and put the wrist straps on, put Street Fighter 2 in, and watch like my brother-in-laws like go at it, or my brother and my brother-in-law start fighting in Street Fighter, and they're like, I remember doing this on the Super Nintendo back. It's like that instant nostalgia, right? Or like taking it out and letting my brother-in-law and his sons play together, and just like watching my nephews play this thing, and just the pure joy of just watching a little kid interact with a Nintendo console. I like, it takes me back, and I just love seeing it. And that kind of stuff was never even possible. I mean, yeah, I could bring them over and play Xbox or whatever before, but like to literally just be like, hey, we're sitting out at the gazebo, and you guys want to play Street Fighter? Well, how can we do that? Well, here's how you do it, right?
Let me show you how.
Yeah, let me show you how. It's like an infomercial. This can be yours for 19, And so,
was everyone outside waving you over, and you were inside playing the
pretty much.
Let me bring it with me, guys. What's up?
Yeah, I had to tell him like, okay, in a few minutes, I want you guys to wave me out, and it's gonna be like I'll finally get to live the commercial. So we're all up on the roof. No, but and then just like seeing my nephews, like if they show up like at my shop or whatever, and they're like talking to me about Mario Odyssey, and I'm like, did you get a Switch? He's like, no, I just watched YouTube videos and I've seen the entire game all the way through. He's so hyped about this. And I mean, my kids, I mean, I started them with GameCube and that kind of stuff, but they always went towards the first person shooters. Like they saw me playing Halo, they wanted to play Halo, right? And so I feel like I'm trying to right those wrongs, like to get. I'm like, okay, I'm starting these. I'm playing.
Maybe you should start doing algebra, Josh.
Yeah. So we're doing Nintendo with my nephews. That's the main thing. But the other thing that's happened is, one, this show, right, and then starting to stream Nintendo games on a regular basis, and building this community. And I got to tell you, there are like. Mondays at work for me are just, they're brutal. I'm like, ugh, it's just Monday, right? Everybody's got the case of the Mondays. But watching that Discord like talk about Nintendo games and just everybody's giving their input, and we're like, there's like a Nintendo mini direct, and we're all just like, there's just like so much anticipation and so much hype, and I think it's going to be this, and look at this leak, and it's just one thing after another, and it's not like just being on Twitter or anything like that. It's like I love this tight-knit group that, like, sometimes we don't all agree, but everybody's allowed to, like, still, like, voice their opinion. And so far everybody's played nice, and it's been really cool. And so that's, I mean, this wouldn't exist. None of this would exist if the Switch wasn't here, if things weren't going as well as they were for Nintendo. Honestly, a lot of the people that are here and in the Discord wouldn't be here if Nintendo hadn't started the Nintendo Power podcast and then magically threw this show up to number 2 on iTunes on the games and hobbies. Like it's kind of crazy. I've been working at podcasting and content creation, and this has been the most satisfying year doing that. And, getting to know, I mean, not only with Nintendo, but like with Brian, I got to go to LA and hang out with him, and, just crazy stuff.
That's the poster he kicked.
Yeah, I kicked that Rogue One poster off the bed while I was sleeping. Scared me to death. I figured they thought there was somebody trying to break in.
I don't even think we woke up.
But we're like, he's got all the Zelda amiibo that are out of their box. So like, I'm there like a crack addict, like trying to unlock everything in my Zelda game every morning. Like, come on, I need the Sheik outfit or whatever. Like, come on.
That's his one opportunity because he won't open his own.
Yeah, and so, and then getting to reconnect, like with Eric, like we used to play games all the time together, and we stayed in touch throughout the years. But like, it's been really, and like, he was on, he was off. We had some stuff we worked through. We worked it out. Like, went
to couples therapy.
Yeah. It was, it was good. And, we both realized it was, no, I'm just kidding. And so it's been a crazy year, and it's been an exciting year, and I can't wait to see what this year holds. Like, I started filling out the application to get into E3 this year, and it looks like I'm going to meet the requirements, and that's because of you guys in chat, you guys that listen to this show on a regular basis, and just the community that we've built. And, I don't know. It's crazy to me. And so one of the things I asked in the Discord is, maybe if there's some moments or anything like that. And, Hate, I know you had a couple that you wanted to bring up.
I did. So one of my first moments was early on. So some of you may not remember it, but, we were talking about the SNES Classic. It was before it came out. It was either right after they announced it, or we might have been speculating on the announcement, and DJ went into this amazing salt mine rant, and Josh and I were dying laughing. And at one point, DJ, I saw him almost crack a smile, so he closed his eyes to continue the rant, and that was one of my favorite moments on the early shows. The other two for me was the Floor Kids dev crew. We kind of didn't know what to expect with those guys. We didn't talk to them. They showed up late, or no, they showed up like right when we asked them to, which is great. So next time, ask people to show up early. And we just went on, right? And so we didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into, and those guys were awesome. And as Kirby's saying, the Target story for Floor Kids, it was the best, worst, weirdest story. Kid Koala is a great storyteller. So that was one. And then personally, me being, sentimental, the year in review episode, the first episode back for me on the show, I was pretty happy because I didn't know if we would have any chemistry left, how that would go, and I thought it went well, and that was before you and I talked about me being on the show ever again. It was just like, hey, come back and do this year-end review show. And so that was mine. Those are my three.
Yeah, I would say for me, one of the episodes that really sticks out is when we did, and Captain Logan mentioned it, and I mean, and Captain Logan, that guy, he's stepped up, he's filled in, he's going to be back on here again. It's been cool watching him. He's been streaming and seeing his stream grow and everything like that, and that's.
I don't think we'll see him again after Sea of Thieves, though.
Oh,
we'll never see. I mean, we'll see him on the stream, but you'll never be able to touch him again.
That's true. That's true. So I mean, but it's been cool just seeing the community come together and seeing other people start to stream and seeing like one of the things I just wanted to foster with this community is getting a place for content creators to be able to put their stuff. And so, if you do YouTube videos, we have a spot for that in the Discord, and it's not getting spammed. People are like, hey, I put out a video, here we go. You know what I mean? It's working nice. So, it's been crazy, but the episode that I put the most work into by far was right before Odyssey came out, and I did probably like 4 hours of research on all of the 3D Mario games, and not just Wikipedia. Like, I wanted to find like good, you know what I mean? Like do some good research. And so it took me a while bouncing between multiple websites and trying to piece stuff together and really get that nailed down, and getting to work with, Nintendo Pulse and Hello Nintendo and the Nintendo Dads and, Run Jump Stomp with the Switchcraft. Like, it was a really, really fun episode. Like, it was a lot of fun to, and just to get one of the best things about doing a show like this, like, is when we get guests on and getting to hear their stories with Nintendo, like, because it just spurs on so many, like, it's just that nostalgia factor for everybody. Cause like somebody will talk about renting games or whatever, and you're like, oh man, as soon as I hear somebody say they had to rent games, yeah,
that's dead.
Like, I had to walk, I literally sound like an old man when I say this, but I literally had to walk like 2 miles uphill both ways to be able to rent video games in the snow, And so, there's so much, with just the history of Nintendo that you really don't get from, the other systems. PlayStation's close because they've been around for like around 20 years or so, a little over 20 years as far as the PlayStation brand.
Thanks to
Nintendo.
Do your history, folks.
Yeah, and so, but it doesn't quite stretch as far. And so just that, hearing those stories, hearing the first games, and it's so great too because, like, I mean, we're kind of like we were young when this stuff first came out, and then we get people that are like, oh, my first console was GameCube, and you're like, that's rad, right? Like, I love hearing that kind of stuff. So it's just it's been a ton of fun. So I want to say thank you, Brian, for coming back doing this episode. It's nice to have a little salt. Eric, thank you for taking the time. Guys in the chat that you're here week in, week out for a lot of my streams. Like, seriously, thank you. I can't, I appreciate you. So thank you. Anything else? I know we didn't cover a lot of like Switch news. There's not a ton. I mean, is there anything that we need to talk about?
Well, DJ didn't get to throw in his memories if he has one.
Yeah. Do you got?
I can't pinpoint a specific episode, but I will say this right at the end. The whole experience for me was pretty awesome and kind of surreal in a sense. When I first started doing it, when I first started talking to Josh, some people that have listened back on the older podcasts have kind of like heard the history of how like when I first met him, he was just streaming, and then I was like in his streams all the time, and then it was like, hey, let's play some games together. Like, he used to do all the time. Well, he still does, but back then it was Destiny. And then it just got more and more talking of like, oh, like kind of like what we did on the show, which was like, oh, where did your gaming start? And it's weird to hear. I don't want to say it's like a broken record, but it's like when someone's like, well, I got a Nintendo and I was really into Mario and I played this and then I played that and then I moved on to SNES and you're like, is this person just like reading the book of my life? And it's funny because, not to say that it was repetitive in a boring way, but it's like, let's put it this way. I came from an age where it's like, it wasn't exactly cool to be into Nintendo.
Right.
You know, everyone else was like still playing outside with water guns or, you know, kissing girls. I wasn't. I was playing Nintendo. And that's flipped around. So to hear that there's all these people that literally had almost minute for minute the same childhood as me, I'm like, wow, this is like cool and amazing and maybe pathetic. I don't know, but it's awesome. So, you know, that part for me was really cool to just kind of even connect on some level with people, you know, even if it's through Skype or, you know, however we did it. And so that was us that. And I remember Josh being like, oh, do you know how to do this? Do you know how to do, you know, Skype? Do you know how to do Twitch? It's like, no. I don't know how he had the patience to walk me and talk me through some of that stuff, but no. So I mean, the whole thing was really cool. And then, not to end on a down note or anything, but when I stopped doing it, I was just kind of for gaming for me. I was like, oh, it was just kind of getting boring for me in a sense that I'm like talking about games and reviewing games, and I was almost probably getting to that point where like Josh is at, where it's like I don't even play games anymore. So I just had to take a step back and just start playing games again. And that could be why I was up and down with Nintendo. But just the whole thing was cool. I would recommend to anyone out there that if you haven't started a podcast or you haven't gotten involved with someone else or supported someone else on a podcast, like, do it, because probably not to say I didn't have fun during the show, but probably some of my funnest moments on the show was right before the show went on the air, and probably right after. I'm sure these two have tons of stories that may never see the light of day about the Floor Kids guys that we'll never hear. And stuff like that was really awesome just to hear. Sometimes you hear stuff and you're like, I can't believe this individual is telling me this. But this is awesome. Like, you know, and I'll never say who those individuals are because, you know, it was almost like a trust thing that we had, you know. It's like, hey, we did a podcast for right now. We spent an hour together and talked, and now let's talk about literally anything.
Right.
And it's just kind of like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Never peek behind the curtain.
Oh, yeah. Well, I say do that. I say go out there and start a podcast and become that behind the curtain. So, yeah, go out there.
Yeah.
Create. God, I sound like an infomercial.
Do it.
Go out, create.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Labo.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Become a meme.
Yeah.
Can I throw a non-affiliated shout out, something I'm happy about?
Yeah, please do.
It should be totally expected. I just put in my order before the show for a double vinyl Floor Kids original soundtrack. If you follow me on Twitter, I retweeted it, so anyone who's looking for it, it is going to be limited. So for collectors who like to collect weird things, that might be for you. But the art is amazing on it, and you know, you all know what the soundtrack sounds like. So there you go. Pretty excited. Not a sponsor.
Okay, guys, thank you for this. We're gonna do the giveaway live on the podcast. So. Everybody in chat, go ahead and type the number 1. And while they're typing the number 1, Brian, tell people where they can find you.
Oh, good luck finding me. Nobody knows my real name. I am on... Jeez. Even I don't even know the lies I tell anymore. I think I'm on Twitter as DJ Hoedown. Also go in the Discord as DJ Hoedown. I'm also on Twitch, But they're on DJ Hoedown Showdown. That's another thing, like Ronnie V, that may never see the light of day. We just don't know yet. I think I talked to Hate about that recently. I'm like, I want a show that's like, it's like a ninja show. It just pops out of nowhere at random times. Like, I'm not even going to give you warning, and it won't be recorded, and I'm not going to upload it to YouTube. And if you're there, it's going to be awesome. It's kind of like when you were a kid and like you didn't go to that party in high school probably because you were playing Nintendo.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Yeah, let's be honest. You were playing Nintendo, and then like the next day at school, everyone's like, "Man, you should have been there. Stevie did this, and Sheena did that, and everything was awesome, and you missed it. What were you doing?" And you're like, whatever, bro.
My girlfriend from Canada was in town.
Yeah,
so.
she came by. No, you can't meet her. Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know if that show will ever see the light of day either. One day I'll just write a book of failed attempts. It'll be massive. It'll be like War and Peace.
Hey, where can people find you, bud?
You can find me on Twitter at HateZero. You can find me in Discord. Hey, so is now a good time to bring this up? Because I've been getting a lot of grief over something that happened in Discord.
What happened?
Akimbo Trout left the Discord. Now that we have you on the spot, are you Akimbo Trout?
I am not. That I jumped into because I got, added or tagged, whatever they call it. And I jumped on there, and I think I jumped in 10 minutes after, let's just call it the great Discord debacle of 2018. And I jumped in, and I'm like, what are these guys talking about? And I scroll up, because I don't know how to adjust it, but mine does the thing where it automatically goes down to the bottom or whatever, or halfway down. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So, and I was like trying to be like, oh no, I think that was a legit thing, and everyone's like, sure, yeah, Kimbo's a loser. I'm like, I think that was a real person, guys. No, seriously, I'm being serious this time. It's like the boy that cried wolf, and it's like, yeah, so whatever.
Look, Akimbo Trout, my sincerest apologies. You can come back. You're a real person. You're not a fake person. You're not fake news.
Check the list here. I don't think they're here. I wouldn't be.
So you can find me on Discord. I may scare you away. Apparently, I scare real people. That's a little disheartening. I apologize. But one out of a few hundred. I think my batting average is decent. But that's one too many. It's one too many. So anyway, yeah, what was the question? You can find me on Twitter. I don't know why you would anymore. Talk to me in the Discord. Probably shouldn't. Yeah, I'm gonna go dark for a while. Just be gone. See you guys next week.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Hey, let's roll this giveaway. Here we go. Hey, K-Cross 202. You are the winner. Just see me after this, either in whisper me on Twitch or message me on Twitter. My DMs are open. Guys, you're going to find me.
What happened to the other 201 K-Crosses?
That's a good question. Excellent question. Wow. So, guys, you're going to find me on Twitter at N64Josh. YouTube is youtube.com/N64Josh. Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitch, Patreon. It's all N64Josh. You guys will be able to find me there. If you do want that extra podcast each month, you can check out the details at patreon.com/N64Josh. Remember to get your free audiobook from Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/NPC. Pick up Ready Player One if you never have. It's so good. It's a good listen. And
absolutely.
Also, OP Seat. Comfortable, affordable gaming chairs. Use coupon code N64Josh. If you guys are enjoying this show on iTunes, we're so close to the 100 reviews. If you're enjoying it, you want to give us a 5-star, let us know what you think. We'd greatly appreciate that. That helps us stay in the top 200, which we pretty much have stayed there for the past few months. So thank you. Thank you so much for that, just for listening and reviewing and all that. We do really appreciate it. So if you're here with us live, thank you guys. We love you. Here's to another year. Brian, Eric, thank you guys. We will see you guys Thursday for the NPC Mini. That's my birthday. Hopefully, we'll see. I don't want to upset anybody in my house.
Hopefully it's your birthday.
No, hopefully I'll be on
Date
the.
could change.
Hopefully I'll be on the show. So we'll see.
right.
We'll see. Yeah, it'll for sure be in your podcast feed, even if it doesn't end up being live on Twitch. So you guys take it easy. All right, chat. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Let's find somebody to raid. Here we go.
I'm just glad Moby was able to join us on the podcast today. That's awesome.
Is that me? You making
Oh, hey, what's up, hey?
You making a bald joke? It's not
right
the first.
behind
You know.
you.
You
I'm
know
right
what
behind
I
you.
get a
Coming.
lot. Lex Luthor from Smallville version.
From
Okay, I see that.
Smallville version.
I was in Disney World, going on the Tower of Terror, and if you've ever done it, they don't break character. Disney will fire and maybe murder you if you break character, right? This female is one of the bellhops, and she's creepy, and then we're getting on there, and she's like, "Enjoy your ride," ha ha ha, and then she stops and goes, "Hey, has anyone ever told you you look like Lex Luthor?" And I was like, "Yeah, I get it all the time." She's like, "Enjoy your ride," and I'm like, "What?" So
Were you married at the time?
I was, yeah.
I was gonna say I would have rolled with that one.
I don't
Till
know
the
if
end.
that's
I'll say
a
that.
pickup line, or I mean, is that what that is?
Guess we'll never know.
I don't know. She immediately snapped back into character, so it's hard to say.
Have you seen that guy like in real life? He's got like so much hair. It's
Oh
ridiculous.
yeah, he's a fake bald person.
Yeah.
For shame,
Phony.
big fat
Yeah.
phony.
Oh man, I gotta say, Josh. Okay, so, 1 episode ago, 2 episodes ago. If anyone doesn't know, this is about N64, Josh.
Uh-oh.
You were talking about how I think you were defending 1-2 switch like you usually do,
Yeah.
and you were just you said something about how you're like, oh yeah, it doesn't get much play. Usually family members come over, and then you were like, I think my daughter plays it the most. And it's usually she has friends over, and they whip it out, and they have a sleepover or whatever they do. But you're like, but I'm kind of worried because she really likes that. I don't even know what it is. You're like that baby game, and she's like
rocking the baby.
in her
Yeah.
arms.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm so afraid she's gonna drop the Switch. And I'm like, not the fact that she's practicing having a child. What is she, 6? And I'm like, but that's his concern. That's where he's at. He's like, I hope she doesn't drop that thing.
Well,
That would
you
be
got to think
terrible.
about it from his perspective. That's $300 worth of games he can't buy because he has to buy a new Switch. He's like, man, that's so many physical copies I'm not gonna have.
Yeah, that's this week.
And if it's on the actual internal hard drive, you've lost. Gone. Even
Right.
if Nintendo fixes it.
Exactly. So, funny story, that same daughter has extremely real looking baby dolls. So real, in fact, that when she takes them to like the grocery store, people are like, why is that little girl carrying a baby? So I don't worry about like she's way into the baby doll thing still.
Okay.
So that's why. She's only 10. Now, if she was a little older,
You're that family that like lives up in the cabin in the wood that only comes down for food at the local store, and people are like, it's those people. They're here. They always have boxes being delivered to the house. I don't know what's in them.
right? Yeah.
Physical copies.
Exactly.
Amiibo.
They only knew.
If they only knew, they're like, this guy's so mysterious. Nope, he's just a video game collector.
And he's like, those dolls are creepy. You are correct, sir. You are correct. They've always got that face. You're like, ugh, what is happening? So
Yeah, Mario cereal.
all
I
right.
still haven't found that. I don't know if we have it here.
Really?
No, you guys don't have Fred Meyer's.
Mm-mm.
Maybe Vaughn's would have it for you, because
I have to
I think
check.
Safeway's got them, and Vaughn's are the same, right? Vaughn's and Safeway, I think, are the same.
Sure.
I believe so. Funny, weird story. Those are all owned by Albertsons. You probably don't know what Albertsons is.
I believe that. Yeah, no, we have it.
Okay. Yeah, Albertsons, which I thought was a smaller grocer, owns Safeway, Vaughn's, all of these. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about grocery stores? What
I
a
don't know.
dumb
all
topic.
the same gas comes from the Arco refinery around here, no matter who you buy it from. So
I've got all these pains in my hip, you know? Like, you guys...
No one reminded me.
What? To what?
Dang it. Start the show over.
Okay.
do over.
The
Get everyone back.
a guy on Reddit thanked the Switch today. It helped him diagnose his cancer in his hand. The HD rumble was hurting his hand, so he went to the doctor and he had a tumor growing. The Switch literally saved someone's life.
Wow.
I was going to bring it up.
Yeah.
Anyone
Thanks
died
a
from
lot,
hand
chat.
cancer, though?
Yeah, of course. You can die from any kind of cancer. Look at Bob Marley. He died from toe cancer.
Yes.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Or it was like gangrene or something. I don't know.
Okay.
It was something. He couldn't amputate or something. I don't
Hey,
know.
let's go see Joe after work, guys. Let's go raid Joe after work. I will be streaming in probably like I don't know, about an hour or so. And so come back, hang out. We'll play some Mario Kart. It'll be fun. Come back. So let's go see Joe after work. Okay, I'm gonna try the raid feature. You guys gotta hit the button though. Let's see if it works. Raid.
What button's that?
No, what's the raid button?
I don't even know.
So you'll see it. It'll pop up in
Eco.
chat.
Where's the
Oh,
any key?
the one that
See?
says leave?
Yeah. So hit that key right there. Hit that button. Let's go.
Oh, and then you have to hit join.
Look
Wait,
at that. Yeah, join that. And
What am I
let's go.
joining?
Let's
that
go.
doesn't do anything for me.
Let's go join Joe
I
after
went
work.
back to leave.
And
Yeah, this don't work.
all right. Well, who knows? I'm not sure.
What is
how it
life?
works. We'll see you guys in a while. Later.